Living an exceptional life is hard. Growing your net worth is even harder. Most people, their dreams, their goal is to have a healthier and wealthier lifestyle. They want to be financially free. The problem is, many don't know how to achieve that. They don't. They've tried different things. They don't even know where to start or even what to do. And that is why I created this 7 checklist. I'm sure you've downloaded it by now. If you haven't, I encourage you to download it. I'll be walking through with you step by step in this video how to create an exceptional life. Hello, my name is Gospel Edward Philia, and I share videos like the one you're about to watch, encouraging you, showing you step by step how to lead a wealthier and healthier lifestyle. So, if you are interested in finding out step by step, 7 steps to create your exceptional life, so I encourage you to grab your pen and your notepad, and you know what? Grab a glass of water. How do you start to activate these 7 steps so that you can achieve an exceptional lifestyle? Here we go. Now, I'm going to be sharing my screen just very briefly so that you can see the download that you should get. If you go to that website, you'll be able to get a copy of it. And coming along with this video is a workbook so that you can enter in all the things that you that pertains to your life. And let me say this, when you start doing this, you start to see a change in your life. So this is what the worksheet, what the download looks like. And if you're watching this on another day and not this year, that's okay. You will still, it still applies. Okay? So, the checklist contains 7 of this, and I even have a space for you to just make short notes. But again, with this video, you're going to get a workbook that comes along with this video. Let's start with the first thing that you need to activate in your life, and that is your life plan. Yes, your life plan is unique to you. And I encourage you to start with the end in mind. Yes, you've got to write your obituary, your eulogy. What do you want people to say about you on your deathbed or in your funeral if you want to have one? And again, have you thought about it? Are you the type of person that wants to have a funeral? Write all this down. What type of words do you want people to talk about with you? And I draw on this idea. I have implemented this in my life for years. I start with the end in mind, and I've walked my way down till today. And you know what that does? It keeps you focused. Yes, once in a while you might derail, but that's because you perhaps are started to get discouraged. And that's human. So I love the book by Don Miller, in which he talks about the hero on a mission. And he even shares about this writing your eulogy. And then once you've done that, you break it down into 10 years. You first of all know when you want to, well, have an idea of when you want to live to die. So if maybe you say, I don't think I will live till I'm 90, 90 is a good time for you to die. If that's what you want, then work out from now, how old are you? Subtract that. So let's say you are in your 30s. So let's say you are 30 years old. You've got 60 years. Then now you got to break that down. You've got 6 decades, right? So 10 years, 10 years slot. What do you want to have achieved in those 10 years? How do you want your life to look like in those 10 years? And then you break it down to 5 years, and then you break it down to 12 months, right? You want to do that. And I love what he shares, Domila, that is, in that living your life to fate, fate is not a good writer. And that is so true. You want to be the writer of your story. You want to have an interest in your story. And when you have a life plan, you're looking forward to what you're going to achieve. And again, you have better clarity on it. So I'm going to include the link for you to get the book. And then the next thing that I want you to consider when you are looking at your life plan is take an assessment. Using the fidelity assessment tool, you get to have a good idea of how financially well you currently are and how that fits into your financial life plan. And we'll talk about financial life in it's one of the checklist as well. We'll talk about that a lot more. So the first thing you need to look at is your life plan. Create a life plan that you'll be interested in, because trust me, I'm sure you've been walking around this world bored of your life, and that has to stop, right? You want to start working on your life to improve your life and not just leave it to external factors and um, being the victim of situations that happen to you. You want to start taking charge and be interested in your life. The second thing I want you to look into is take a good look at your financial life. When you do the fidelity assessment, which I'll include as well, you'll start to have a good idea as to what your financial life really looks like. And I share, I'll also put in the link, a money management software that actually tells you how long it will take you to reach financial freedom, because I'm sure you you have an idea of how long, of when you want to have financial freedom, right? So based on your current financial lifestyle, based on your current spending and income, this tool is going to show you when exactly you're going to reach financial freedom. And also, you might be thinking that you need a lot of money to achieve financial freedom. But when you sit down and use this tool, it will break down to you and show you that actually you don't really need that much money to achieve financial freedom. Now you have to know what that looks like for you. What does financial freedom looks like for you? That is why Many times when people say they want to retire at 30, at 40, at 50, they want to retire before they are 60, I kind of question that because when you retire, what would you be doing? Do you know what you'll be doing? Why do you want to retire? Especially, why do you want to retire then at that age? I think, in my opinion, retirement maybe is a first world situation because I'm not completely into that chatter about retiring at this time or waiting to start living your life when you retire. No, when you create your life, when you have a life plan, you start to live that life. Why are you waiting till you're retired? Why are you waiting for a certain time? You can start to lead that life now. And it helps when you know how much is coming into your life and how much you're expending out of your life. Managing your money is one of the things, one of the tools that you will need to help you achieve that financial freedom you want. To be financially well, you need to know how much money you spend. You need to know how much money you bring into your house. You need to plan your money. You need to have a buffer. You need to have a buffer for today, a buffer for tomorrow, and a buffer for next tomorrow. And if you have an invisible disability, you need to have not just your emergency fund, but also your health emergency fund. This is different from health insurance and all that because your lifestyle is different from someone that does not have a disability. So, getting clear on your financial life is golden. You need to start working a lot smarter. And one of um, my mentor and coach, shares how you can achieve a smarter work life. And I'll put the link to his resource so that you start to, embed all those characteristics to working a smarter life, to having a smarter work life is possible. And I don't subscribe to that chatter of if you wish it, it will happen. No, I work hard. I work smart to achieve what I have. And you too, you have to put in the work in a smart way to achieve your goal. The next one to embed, the third one in the checklist, is evolving your mindset. Evolve your mindset from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. What does that look like? Most of us, we grew up in environments that was rather negative, even borderline toxic for some of us, right? And many of us grew up also hearing not so helpful beliefs and limitations. This is a generational thing. And it's not your fault. That's the environment you grew up in and the environment your generation grew up in. One person must have had a bad experience and voila, everybody has to suffer, right? It's like Better learn from me, oh. Eh, let me just tell you now, money don't grow on trees. Do I look at like I'm made of money? They rich, they are greedy, oh. Nobody here should come and talk to me about being a lawyer. All lawyers are liars. So, end of. You know, things like that you grew up with, hearing all the time. Ah, you better tithe though. Ha, if you don't tithe, you go to hell. Yeah, stuff like s- chatters like that. And we absorbed it unconsciously. We ended up having these limiting beliefs. Because of the color of your skin, you better walk. Oh, ha. Because of the color of your skin, you pay more taxes. Because of the color of your skin, you have to work longer hours. Things like that. And you now are striving and striving and striving to do better, to be more than, which is not a bad thing. But many times that builds resentment of what you're doing, especially if it is not what you like. So, the evolution of your mindset from a negative one to a positive one will really help you to start leading an extraordinary and exceptional lifestyle. The mindset around money is a huge one. Is one that has either kept people stuck, kept people in a state of wanting more, greed. It has even led to people going to prison or committing suicide. Yeah. There are four money mindsets that one of my mentors, Dr. Brad Clouts, and his dad, they created this assessment that you can take. It's for free, right? And they came up with these four money mindsets, these four money scripts: the money avoidance, the money worship, the money status, and the vigilance, right? And to some extent, we you could fall under each of that, each of those ones. Some people have two, some people have one that is a dominant one. But taking that assessment will help you to figure out why you behave the way you behave when it comes to money, why you choose certain careers, why you either pull back from certain things. And it starts to give you an understanding as to why you basically view the choices that you make based on money rather than saying things like, ah, that costs too much. Let's go for the cheaper one. That's because you thinking, okay, I cannot afford this. I will go for a cheaper version of it. It's fine, you can do what you want. But one thing that I have found is that when you compromise and you go for cheaper items, they break in 2 days. And that's your money gone. And then now you start looking for somebody to fix it. And then when you calculate the amount of money you spent fixing it and you add it to the original price, it comes up to the one that you were avoiding paying for because it was costly. You start to view more the value of items than the cost of items. When you start to get a better idea of your money script. For example, when you have, maybe you are, let's think of an example. Maybe you want to buy a printer. You want to buy a printer because you just don't want to keep going to the post office or going to the library to print stuff. So you look around for a printer and you find a printer, and that printer is mega expensive, but it has everything you so want, everything on your checklist. It's expensive. Then you find another one that also does everything, but it is not really doing all of it, all the things well. You've seen the reviews, but it's cheaper. It doesn't have certain items that you want. So you say, okay, I'll buy that one because I don't have the money. And then you buy it, and then 6 months later, kaput. You try to fix it. They are telling you stories about this part and that part. And you find out that you could have just saved some more money and don't even think of getting it on a credit card, because that is you digging yourself a big hole. Your mindset really is important. Valuing things that produce profit in your life is much more important than the cost. For me, the way I buy stuff is I look at what will my return on investment be. If I will get 100 times more, I'm buying it. I'm buying that thing. I am investing in it. Courses, I rather pay for courses because I know that I am investing in it and the person doing it is not feeling resentful. They are actually offering it to me because they are providing a service because they got the money. So I know that they are coming from a place of them wanting to help me, not someone else that just chooses to make a few bucks from people. Looking at something, the value that it will bring to your life, will it increase your net worth? Will it affect you? So there are two investments that I look at. I look at my return on investment and my hassle on investment. If something is gonna give me a lot of hassle, I don't go for it. Your ROI and your HOI are important. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is you need to install. So, the fourth one, you need to install educating yourself. I start hinting on this, educating yourself. You want to be someone that is open to growth, consistent growth. Keep learning new things. Keep being someone that wants answers, asking questions, um, educating yourself. Many people, you hear them say, I never graduated and look at the loads of money that I make. I say good for them. They are the exception. But when you start to dig deeper, you start to realize certain things. Um, they might say they dropped out of high school, they dropped out of university. Many times they went back in later life to finish, get their certificates and things. Many times they do. So hearing people brag about not having an education and still earning money, well, good for them. A majority of the time, most of them end up going back and doing it. And many of them regret not doing it when they were younger because it's a lot of work to study when you're much older. The reality, as I said, that those people are the exceptions. You need to educate yourself constantly. I don't believe, or well, I don't subscribe to the chatter of I read 52 books in a year. I read 129 books in a year. No. When I'm actually reading a book, I read it like I'm studying the book with notepads and writing stuff. That is how I read a book because I need to really understand what they are saying. Just reading lots of books to say, oh, I read that. Oh, I read 52 books a week. I read 300 books a week. Good, good, good for you. Educating yourself properly is something that will help you increase your net worth. There is a difference between skimming and reading. Skimming is just to just say, oh, well, I like this thing, and then end, or to show off. Reading a book for understanding and to gain knowledge is one that you can get golden nuggets from and to help you increase your net worth. How would that do that? Because when you go to talk to people in networking situation, if you're doing that, and you actually say the thought process of the writer, people will take you seriously than you just quote the author's name and the title of the book and say, oh yeah, I read that book, Think and Grow Rich by what's his name again? What's his name again? Oh yeah, yeah, him. Yeah, I read it. It was good. It was really good. What was good about it? What was good about it? Than someone that now comes and then says to you, oh, I read this book by Don Miller that talks about growing your brand, you know, and he talks about how to actually write a story. And he talks about 7 frameworks that you need to, embed into, let's say, your website or any script that you're writing. He says you must invite them into a story, you know, and then you say you go into it. People will listen to you than someone that just say, "Oh yeah, I read that book by Damila. Yeah, it's quite a good book. Yeah, yeah. Story brand. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's awesome. How to build your story brand. Yeah, he's really good in it. What's good about it? Skimming, just to say. Some people even do. They just read the first page and the back, and then they tell you that they've read the book. Whatever degree you choose to do is up to you. One thing I encourage young people is to seek out getting a professional degree, getting a degree in a profession. Yes, I am of that school of thought that you need to move towards either becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a financial advisor, planner, a nurse, a teacher, a pharmacist, an economics, or any profession that you will be specialized, you have expertise in. Project manager, that will help you, and that will really help you in any season, and you can increase your net worth because you gain a lot of skills. Now, sometimes you might, if you if perhaps maybe when you were a lot younger and you really wanted to be in a professional job. So I'll use myself as an example. I wanted to be a pharmacist and own my own company. And you know what? When I did my A levels, I fell ill, and voila, it affected my grades and everything else. So I wasn't able to go into university when all my classmates were going to university. That's one of the joys of having invisible disability. It just hits you like that. Of course, I was distraught. Imagine an 18-year-old having all those plans, and then voila. Took a year, did the exam, didn't do as well because being the person I am, I'm forcing myself while I'm recovering to study because I need to go in to university. Because again, they told me the color of my skin. I should not be out here having a business if I don't have a degree. So I said, okay, let's learn then and then go into university and do. I wasn't able to go into pharmacy, but I went into pharmaceutical and chemical sciences. And I did that. And I got myself a first class degree because that was what I said I'm gonna have. Because I wasn't in pharmacy school, but instead in the second step down. That's how I saw it. Well, and other people. So, but I was attending classes with people that were studying pharmacy. Most of my friends were all pharmacists studying pharmacy. So imagine how that felt. And I said to myself, I am going to be a pharmacist. Cut the whole long story short. After I paid off my student loan and I saved up money, I went and then I am now a pharmacist. And I can do whatever I want and work wherever I want. And you know how that came to play? It's because I had a plan for my life. I figured out that certain type of lifestyle was not for me and I needed to be a creator of my own life. The next one that I want to encourage you is leading on to healthy living, living a healthier lifestyle. And when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, what does that actually look like to you? When you have a disability, an invisible disability, it takes a toll on your body and on your mental health. For example, me not doing well and falling ill 2 weeks to my pharmacy exam. Yes, to my final exam, my national exam. 2 weeks, bam, in the hospital for the next 2 months. That really was soul destroying. It took a toll on me. I was super depressed. I was angry. I was so sad. I was bitter and resentful because of the circumstance in which I fell ill. You are unique. No matter what anyone says to you, listen to your body, take care of your health. Do you know that what you put inside your body affects your mind as well as your body? What you put inside you affects your mind and your body. What are you putting inside your body? I hear a lot of people joining these trends that always come up. Oh, yeah, I'm doing vegan. Oh, no, 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 I'm doing keto. Keto, yeah, yeah, I'm on the keto diet. Um, oh, yeah, Atkins. Yeah, when Atkins was the thing, innit? Getting on all these trends. You're dieting this, you're dieting that. Why? That's too much. That is a lot of hassle for me anyway. My hassle on investment on that is a bit much because I have to think about all the other things. Oh, they have a lot of rules, I think, because I've spoken to clients. I have one particular one that she went on intermittent fasting. That's it. And vegan. Was it vegan? That this, yeah. No, they were on vegan diet, and they wanted my opinion on intermittent fasting. That is a separate topic. But they started their vegan diet, and they had been doing it, and they had lost weight, and everybody was complimenting them and everything else. But then they said to find out that they had certain health issues. They already have an invisible disability. They already have that. But then they started to develop kidney failure, stage one. And they reached out to me. So had to now look at what exactly they were eating. And this is when they now asked me about intermittent fasting, which I'm not going to talk about. I talk about that in my healthier healthier living program, health accelerator program. I talk about that there. They are having a healthy lifestyle, eating healthy It's very simple. You just need to have a balanced diet. This is year 7 stuff, primary school stuff. A balanced diet, that's all. That is it. And the proportion of those diets is key. Because once you know how the body works, you actually know how to start being healthy, right? Once you know how the body actually works, you know how to be healthy. Because I choose not to talk about diet or healthy stuff because it's an individual journey. That's why I do it in a one-to-one setting, because everybody's body is different and the way you metabolize food is different. So going for a blanket kind of diet thing is not the best. Weight management is what I specialize in when it comes to healthy living. I specialize in weight management, pain management, and positive mental health, moving towards a positive mental health. I did say in the checklist having more vegetables and a good portion of carbs and protein. That's what you should aim for. What does that proportion look like? It's different. It's different to each person. Inject into your life healthy practices. And for your mind, when someone does something catastrophic to you or you go through a traumatic situation, own it, cry, curse, have a tantrum, whatever it takes, get it out. You've gone through a traumatic situation, so your body is gonna feel funny. Your soul, you're gonna feel eh, cry it out, and then start the process of forgiveness. Start the process of cleansing it out. Because if you don't, it will build up to bitterness, resentment, and that's going to affect your net worth, just so you know. Because money doesn't like toxicness. And how that plays out is you start to make decisions that don't really make sense. You start to make choices that are like, why? And you regret those choices, and then the circle starts again. So when you go through a traumatic experience, cry. It's okay. Cry, curse, but don't sin. Don't cause good. And then start the process of forgiving yourself, then forgiving the person or the institution. I've got to do a lot of that. And it's not an easy journey, but it's achievable, and you get to achieve so much freedom. The next one is be generous. You've heard people saying things about that. Practicing generosity, practicing genuine generosity is one way for you to start living an exceptional life. A lot of people choose to be generous to show off. And you know what? They've received their reward already on this earth, because we are called to, to do good, to be generous to people. You don't have to bros- broadcast it. You can just do good in the comfort of your own home, secretly, anonymously, that only God knows it. Nobody else, because nobody else's business. And guess what? Your reward will be in heaven. Which one do you want? The reward of man that they'll just say it and then 5 minutes later they are there stabbing you in the back. Oh, well done. That was so good. Ah, that's nice. That's good. And then the next minute they're like, who does she think she is? Giving them £5,000. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe she's the one that the other day was broke and she was asking for money. Oh, no, no, no. Actually, she was the one the other day that was on benefit. When you just mind your business and be generous in closed doors, God will reward you, and His own reward is 10 times. And the interesting thing is, some people might be like, but I want my reward here on earth now. He will give you your reward here on earth too. It might not come today, it might come today, it might not come until 10 years later, and to blow your mind. I teach the GIS method. You give first when you're managing your money. When you've got your money, you give first, then you invest. Whatever that looks like to you, you can invest in yourself. That's another topic that I go deep in, because there is a time for everything. There's a time to invest in yourself and not in the stock market, and there's a time to invest in the stock market. You save and then you spend, the GIS method. The final one is have an attitude of gratitude. I am a big fan of this, being grateful, and it's so hard, and I keep practicing it to be grateful. It's not something that just comes like that. I know for me, I've had to build on it. Be grateful in every situation. When I did not finish, when I fell ill before my A level exam, I was peeved off. But I started to be grateful because I got to watch a lot of God TV. And I am grateful for that season because it opened my eyes to something else. Let's just say I don't watch God TV anymore. I am grateful that I went through those 2 months in intensive care, being isolated in the hospital when I did not write my exams. And that June was the exam. We were the first one to do the new version of the exam. I didn't get to write it, and the failure rate was really high. But I got to write it the following September. I was grateful that I got more time to study. Although I studied in the hospital, in which I was panicking that, please God, let me remember it, because when you're on PCA of morphine or dimorphine or whatever they were giving me, and being injected with stuff, it messes with you up, with your cognition. So imagine trying to learn something for your exam. But I'm grateful for that period, because guess what? I have a story to tell. I have a book to write. And if Allah, that will be increasing my net worth. Yes, people might think that I'm looking for the silver lining, but when I was going through it, I was being grateful to God because again, I healed myself. That's another story. There is something that being grateful, gratitude does to your soul, to your cells. It nourishes it. Yeah, I've tested it and I've tried it. Go out there and start being grateful. Start brain dumping things that you are grateful for. You start to see once you just start. I'm grateful for flowers. I'm grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for the rain. I'm grateful for the clouds. I'm grateful for my food, my heating, my electricity. You start to see loads of it. Idea starts to come, but you have to start. And that is why I encourage you to get yourself a notebook. And when you brain dumping, don't just brain dump positive stuff, also brain dump the negative bit. I have two books, one for all the positive things, one for all the negative things, because I need to get rid of all the negative things. It helps me forget because I am not mulling on it anymore in my head. I've put it on paper, prayed the needs, and then let it go. And again, talk to a therapist as well. That doesn't hurt. So I've gone a bit over my time, but I hope that this checklist, you walk through them and install it into your life. Bit by bit, this is just the start. Later on, you start to see where you need to dive deeper and work on. But this checklist gives you a step by step thing to do. If you're like, oh, I'm so bad in all of them, then you choose the one you want to work on first. Step by step. My clients they always say, Gospel. In fact, before I bring it out of my mouth, they already know what I'm going to say. Step by step, you will reach your goal. If you look at all these lists, the 7 things, and you're like, I'm rubbish at all of them. I'm not good in any of them. All of them, they are all all over the place. It's all right. Now you know that none of them are 9/10. They are all maybe 2/10. So you now choose the one that is the easiest one for you to achieve now in, let's say, the next 6 weeks, and you work on that. I encourage you to try out the gratitude one first for 30 days. Look for things around you to be grateful for and write it down. That is always a good start. I'm so grateful that you've joined me today. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. And I really hope that this has helped you and that this is a yardstick. It's a ignition for you to know how to start creating your exceptional lifestyle. Because guess what? You can start leading an exceptional lifestyle. And your lifestyle doesn't have to be extravagant. Nice and simple always works. It's unique to you, the way you want it to be. Again, remember, you can always get a copy of the checklist and also download the workbook and walk through the workbook. Do it step by step. You've had all this information before. I'm sure you have had one form of it before. The problem is you didn't take action. And if you don't take action, you continue to remain stuck. That's right. You continue to remain in that place of uncertainty, not knowing what you're doing. Because The path to leading an exceptional life is very simple. When you walk through the workbook, you will just see how simple it is, and you will just stop looking all around and being in confused express. No more confused express. We are aiming for having clarity of mind and having a direction, a focused life, because you want your eulogy to be a great one, don't you? You want people to remember you for doing something exceptional. I'm wishing you ongoing success. You, Unique, remember there's only one you out here in the streets. So you go out there and live your exceptional life, because you never know. Something that you say, something that you write might just be that thing that someone needed to hear to get them to the next level in their life. So you go out there and be your unique self and live an exceptional life.